What?
It was.
Yes. Tea party. Yeah, that's it. Tea party.
I say that's
Those guys in England were taxing our tea too much.
This is the original flag we raised up against you, Britt.
All right, good. Hold that. Somebody stand in front of me. Good. Okay, John. Thanks.
This is Steve Fillmore.
Let me look good for the camera.
There are 2 judge seats. Steve is running for one of them. Preoccupied to watch running for the other. And that we really appreciate that.
For independent, registered in Pinal County, you can sign it. Really appreciate it. Can you sign for me? It just gets me on the ballot.
City of Phoenix gets Pinal School District. They're all in there.
Elementary school.
And no with an explanation.
Please, get to know me. How are you doing? All right. Well, we're glad to have you here. We were working on the umbrellas a little bit.
I'd love to see Barbie McGuire.
Yeah, it's McGuire, I thought.
Yeah, from Kearney. There are 2 seats. The one is held by Frank Grande, and the other is held by Barbie McGuire. Barbie has put dropped the bill and sponsored to charge 5 cents tax on every little bottle of water sold in the county. You know, I'm not real thrilled with some of Frank's votes because, you know, he's... For those of you that don't know me, I'm a small businessman out of Apache Junction. Now, I started my business 20-some odd years ago with $3,500. I do almost $2 million a year in sales, and I've never borrowed any money. I'm very upset at what's happening in our country. Our government seems to spend, and spend. The reality of it is that we're in a deficit spending mode, where what's happening, is this sticking out or is this me?
I resemble that remark.
Yes, you do resemble that remark. Now that you make mention of it, you disgruntled veteran. But what's happening in our country is there's become a largesse of government. They keep growing the government, and what I'm concerned about is in 20 years we defeated communism. Here in the United States, the greatest country in the history of mankind, we are the country that put the man on the moon. We were instrumental and the leader in defeating World War II Germany. We have taken ourselves tolerance here in this country. And what's happening is our country is being defeated from within. We are under attack. Not from Al-Qaeda, but from within. Politicians, you seem more concerned about their re-election than about what is happening. And now in 2010, we're paying for the health care, we're paying for the car, we've given them the jobs or the unemployment, 99 weeks. When you take an American kid that's 20 years old or any kid anywhere in the world and you give them 99 weeks of unemployment, you take their work ethic and you drive it into the ground. That's not good. And in this country, what we're doing, especially in Washington, with this kind of stuff, is we're going to take our country and we're going to ruin it. Just like in the 1960s, the war on poverty took all of our inner city youth kids. When they did the war on poverty, they destroyed a whole group of segment of people that lived in those cities and put them on those welfare programs. They have not come out of that as of yet to this day. As we produce so much in America, so much is taken away. President Obama has said that Wall Street will no longer be the leading economic drive in this country. And I ask you, if it's not Wall Street, who will it be? The unions? He's given them our car companies. He's almost nationalized our banks. No, Bradley's talking on the telephone. On the radio. Who's next, Joe? Who's after Bradley?
Taxes to everybody within earshot, so I apologize. I was just explaining on the radio, when you make a mistake, the old saying is you learn from your mistakes. You don't learn from your mistakes. You actually learn from the consequences of your mistake. That's what you learn from. And in the government, we don't seem to have any consequences for their mistakes. When they overspend and deficit spend and blow up a budget and don't stick to their budgeting, they don't have to suffer the consequences because they just propose another tax increase. This is what Congress, this is what Washington doesn't realize. The people are informed, the people are motivated, and the people are going to make them pay for the consequences for their actions. Thank you very much.
Taxes where if they get a tax increase, if you give them a tax increase, they will waste the money. They always find a way to waste it. You know, right now over in the city of Phoenix, they have over 17,000 employees. Over half of them make $100,000. Now I want you to think about that. Over half of the city employees make $100,000, and just within the last 3 months they instituted a food tax because they didn't have enough money.
They're calling it a fee, but it's a tax in order to keep the state parks open. Okay, I don't know. I have a problem with it because they already robbed the money from the state park fund, and now they want to add a fee to a registration that's already outrageous anyways, to go ahead and fund them again.
Give them a tax, they will waste it.
If you give them a tax, they will waste it. Next up, I want to introduce Paul Jenny. He is with Americans for Prosperity, and he is the one who brought this ATM machine. We are already taxed to the max, and Tom Jenny is here to tell us more about it.
AxeTheTaxAZ.com. AxeTheTaxAZ.com. You can also find it at our website, which is on the side, listed on the sides of that giant ATM machine. A lot of people have said, hey, how come you have this giant ATM machine? Well, the ATM machine stands for already taxed to the max. And I think in America, and I think in Arizona, we are already taxed to the max. I don't know if you agree with me. Thank you. Glad to know. I think we're already taxed to the max. I think we're about done. But the vast majority of the money that came in was all spent. And they hired a lot of government employees. They started a lot of programs. They did stuff like all-day kindergarten. I know a lot of you were alive before they started all-day kindergarten in 2006. Some of you were alive. Raise your hand if you were alive in 2006. You've been losing your jobs, or your friends have been losing your jobs. Your family members have been losing jobs. Businesses have been going out of business. You see a bunch of empty commercial real estate all over the state. We have had it hard. We have suffered, and yet government, if you look at the actual amount that they're spending, government has not suffered at all. This is crazy. Why do they get to keep spending? Well, let me tell you the truth. They are going to have to start cutting. They've already had to start cutting a little bit, and if the May 18th sales tax goes down, they're going to have to cut some more, and they need to cut. They need to cut. But you know what? They're going to think, okay, I'm voting for $600 million for K-12. It ain't going to happen. $600 million will go in one pocket of K-12, and the legislature will take out of the other pocket $171 million, and they will spend it on other things. It's ridiculous. And yet we're told, oh, we're going to have to fire teachers. And if your school district fires a really good teacher who was hired 2 years ago and lets some administrator stick around and make six figures, you need to do something about that school district. You need to send those school district members, you need to take those board members, take them out to the woodshed. If the legislature tells you, if anybody, John Fillmore won't tell you that, but if any legislator tells you, oh, there's nothing we can do, they are wrong. They control the formula. The legislature can say tomorrow, school districts, you cannot fire people, you cannot fire an outstanding teacher who just walked in the door who's doing a great job just because they're not high up on the union pay scale. You can do that. All this stuff is politically in our control. The fact is that the power people, they do not want to change things. The guy that's making six figures and pushing paper